Terry,
Here.
Bridget.
Here.
All right, and we're missing Jared and Justin. They are not here today. So do we have any awards, recognition, or correspondence, Carrie? Okay. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I don't have anything for that either.
Okay. Any public comment on non-agenda items?
I do not have that either.
All right. We're going to open the budget hearing. And at this time, I would have an approval for the or a motion for the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay. Hearing none opposed, moving on. Passes. Fiscal overview, Lacey.
Okay. So on the financial overview that I gave you, I had under encumbered our taxes and our interest on our investments. So our ending fund balance right now sits at $1,376,923. That will be higher. We also haven't closed out really any POs yet. So it should land right around what we anticipated to start the budget year with. So that's good. And then I'll talk about the resolutions later down the line when I'm supposed to. I'm going to have Dawn come help me this month here in a few weeks. He'll help me with my general ledger and line me out for some different reporting styles that will help me be more efficient. And that's it for overview until I talk about resolutions in a few minutes.
All right. Any questions for Lacey? All right. Hearing none. Superintendent report.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have, I wanted to let you know, I talked to John Sweet this morning, this afternoon, actually, a couple times because he called me back and said, did I talk to you today? Yeah. The county is asking, they're currently the bathrooms down at the fairgrounds are inside of our property, and I guess they have been for some time, obviously. So they're in their venue that they're going to have for concerts, etc. They would like to, they're putting a bathroom back in, and they would like to not buy, but have some of our land that we don't necessarily use. So I have I told John today that they need to get us a new line, surveyed new line that would allow them to have their actually bathrooms and another building inside of their property line, not ours. And if you saw our property line, we're maybe 3 feet behind the Oaks Pavilion, which is unbelievable. And it's so tight. And we own, and I'm not going to say a lot of land, maybe a 10 by 30 foot stretch of land, 300 square feet. And I told him that if he could get us the information, the new property lines, etc., that we could go, I could bring it to the board in August, and hopefully approve that, because we honestly, the district uses a lot of fair board land or county land for baseball. The city uses absorbent amount of property down there for all their little softball, baseball stuff. We don't use it, so it's really just moving, not necessarily up the hill, but kind of to the bottom of the hill. If you look down from the top, it's really at the bottom of the hill. So the fence actually is moved a little bit. So it won't hurt us. for me, it's really just being polite to to Douglas County, helping them out because they help us out. So it's, they will get us a new property line surveyed, and then I'll bring it to the board in August. Secondly, we are starting the RFP process for the engineering of the seismic. So ZCS out of Grants Pass is working, Dan and I are working with them to do the actual RFP. Hopefully that will be done by middle of next week so that we can put it out to an RFP by at least the 1st of July. It has to sit for 30 days for the engineering. And by the way, the budget on that is $399,000 for the engineering and architecture. So that then we will proceed from there after 30 days, select an architect, and then move to the next RFP, which would be the contracting portion of the project. Hopefully that RFP will come out around September 1st. And so that'll run 30 days into October, all the on-site visits from the contractors during the month of September, and then hopefully assign a contractor in the month of October, middle of October, I'm hoping, so that we can then line them out to start late May of 26. So that right at the conclusion of school, right before the conclusion of school, we can get the contractors in and start. Otherwise, if we don't get them done then it goes to the next summer of 27, and that's we want it done sooner than later. And then, so like I said, so we'll work on that timelines. I set the timeline with ZCS last week. They're very good. They will be very efficient in getting those RFPs out. They do a lot of them and do most of the seismics in the engineering portion. So I'm happy that we have not assigned an engineer or architecture, but that's part of the process. So the process is going to take, like I've said before, 5 to 6 months to get a contractor, and then hopefully 3 months to do the job. So that's where we're at, and we're moving forward. And other than that, last day of school is Thursday. 2-hour early release. Kids have been okay. They were actually pretty good today. So we're nearing the end. And just speaking for Maple Middle School, it's been a great first year. So happy, and I think in the other buildings, I think would say the same. So moving forward and looking forward to 25-26.
All right, any questions for Steve?
Yeah, I do. What's going on with the student manuals? Where are we on those?
Oh yeah, it's a good question. So Maples is about done. I'm doing that one. Jen is doing the athletic one. Both building principals are doing the other two. They have to be okayed by the board. So those new student handbooks will be probably sent out to the board around middle of July, early 1st of August, and then we will submit those to the board to be approved in the board meeting in August. So they have to be approved by the board. It is, I can tell you right now, right out of the OSBA handbook, and then the staff handbook is the same. So we're using all of their language, policies that we use, and then adding our own for the various different buildings. So we may have a different cell phone policy at the middle school than the high school, and of course the elementary. They just don't have them. So and probably don't need one really. But those all those policies with pretty descriptive disciplinary action, consequences, etc. I'll send those out, and then, like I said, we'll approve them in August. So they're on their way. I'm through page 37 of 41. So Maples is about done, and I think the other two are about done also.
Okay, good.
Any other questions for Steve? All right, hearing none. Moving on to enrollment report, Carrie.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Gotta turn on your speaker.
Okay, sorry. Nope, we're just holding on. It really hadn't changed much. I think we lost one kid at one of the buildings, but I haven't had a lot of times right now I'm starting to get IDTs for next school year, and I've only seen maybe one or two for the little kids. Like sometimes we get them for preschool that maybe have been attending daycare at Coquille, but I haven't seen any from that this year at all. So
Okay. Any questions about enrollment? All right, moving on, 24-25 budget resolution 24-2501 and adopting the 25-26 budget. I'm gonna move on.
Okay, I sent out the resolution 24-25-01, resolution adopting the budget. This breaks everything down in our functions or by fund, and then in our functions beyond that. I did find an error on, so for whomever does the actions on these, under the resolution imposing the tax, under number 2, this says 91,500, but below it says 88,000. It's 88,000. So that I'll fix up before we have Katie sign it. This adopts our budget, which is required by our auditors and the state.
Other
And
budget.
the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the budget appropriations 24.
So every time this year, we receive a lot of grants throughout the year that we don't budget for because we don't know they're going to happen. And so that's what this next resolution is always doing. It increases our appropriations beyond what we have budgeted for. And so this one specifically has, we received a few grants actually within the last couple of weeks. Bright Ideas Grant, the Master Gardeners Grant, the Menstrual Grant was increased. We received an increase on our IDEA grant. We received an Aspire grant. We received I did budget for outdoor school, but I didn't budget enough because I didn't know we were receiving the larger amount. And so that's also on this. And then we received an extra 113,678 on SIA. So that's what this resolution takes care of, is making sure we can appropriately expend for those grants received.
Any questions for Lacey? All right. We have the first reading of HA-HAA and HC. Haha.
I did the same thing, Katie. That's funny.
Okay.
So those are OSBA did a rewrite for Myrtle Point School District way beyond earlier than I was even there. So we're talking back in 08, 09. As they have been going back through and looking at our policies, they found that these were missing. And they asked for me to research, and I have looked everywhere in everything I can find, and I can't find any documentation of it. So basically, this is just what we already do is create a committee for negotiating. And usually the superintendent is the head of that committee. But this is just the policies that we need to keep in place just so that we're staying within legality with negotiation systems. So that's why they've asked us to put them back into our policies.
All right. Any questions? All right. The OCEA classified contract.
You want me to talk about that?
Oh, we came to an agreement.
Yes, we did. We came to an agreement. Financially and language was not changed very much.
Yeah.
Just for an FYI, the classified union staff members will receive a $1 raise next year and a $1 raise the following year. So we have actually done a 2-year contract for the first time in some time. So that's basically the financials. So and like I said, very, very, very minor language.
All right. Any questions? All right. Moving on. Pacific Power Foundation AED for buses.
So this was a grant that one of those that Lacey was just talking about that came up at the last minute Lori Glenn, our nurse, she put in for it and we were granted it. So Pacific Power will be purchasing, I think we got a $2,500 grant. We're hoping that we can get about 4 AEDs that will be travel AEDs that will go on our buses. So like if we have a kid, like a group of kids going on field trips or even sporting events or whatever, we'll have portable AEDs that will be able to move along with our students as well. So, her next plan is that, just so you guys will know, she's starting to write a grant now that we will get AEDs in all of the buildings and maybe even more than one in each building that will be all the same. And they'll all, that way when we get trained on them, we don't have to worry that we don't know if we go from one building to another. Because some of us do go in other buildings and are there a lot of times when something like that might happen. We need to have it and be trained in them.
All right, any questions regarding the AEDs? Okay, moving on. Public comment regarding agenda items. Do you have any public comments? Nope.
I had none, Katie.
All right, we're gonna close the budget hearing. And then we'll go on to our action items. So I would entertain a motion for the resolution 24-25-01 to adopt the 2025-2026 budget with the adjustment of the 88,000 for debt service.
I move to approve resolution 24-25-01 to adopt the 2025-26 budget with the amended amount of $88,000. Is that correct in the motion?
For our tax imposed, don't we have to say this amount?
Yeah, and then also say for the total adopted budget of 19,431,498.
For the total adopted amount of, say that number again, please. I'm sorry.
19,000 or 19 million.
19,431,498.
498.
498.
I got
Second.
it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Why?
All opposed say nay. Hearing no nays, the motion passes. All right, entertain a motion to approve resolution 24-25-02 to increase the budget appropriations.
I move to approve resolution 24-25-02 increase of budget appropriations.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any against say nay. Hearing no nays, the motion passes. Approve update to OSEA classified contract.
I move to approve the update to the OSEA classified contract.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Hearing no nays, motion passes. Just a reminder that we will not have a July meeting and we will be doing the swearing in of our new board member, Julie, in August. And do we have any announcements? All right, good of the order. Does anybody have anything? You can go ahead and just raise your hand and start. Any good of the orders? I'll just say that graduation went really well. It was really cool that all of us were there. It's always a great time of year for all the kids to, come to this point where they're looking back and seeing everything they accomplished, and it's pretty cool. So, any other good of the orders?
And Katie was the entertainment.
Yeah. Next time I'll check my seat before I sit down.
Yes, but you warned the rest of us, so we didn't do it.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks for all coming virtually.
Thank
I'll see you in
you.
August.
See everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.